What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for checking in with me today. No introduction today. We're just gonna get straight into the video. Last night, I went and saw Love, Simon with Alistair and a couple of our friends at the theater. Going into the movie, I was interested in seeing it. I was definitely interested in seeing it, but was I super excited to see Love, Simon? No, I wasn't, because of all of the hype surrounding the movie. I think people on Twitter and like Instagram, like they kind of ruined it for me a little bit, because like everybody on Twitter who went and saw it was like, if you don't go see this movie, you don't support the LGBT community. You have to go see it at least 3 times so that you know, this and that. And I understood what they were saying, where they were coming from, because this is a big deal that a movie like this is mainstream. But I don't know, people kind of ruined it for me, kind of ruined the excitement for me. I was still interested in seeing it, so I went and saw it. And going into the movie, I didn't have very high expectations at all for it. In fact, I had pretty low expectations. Y'all, I'm so tired of seeing a gay man as the lead character in a story that solely surrounds and solely is about his sexuality. I'm ready for the day when we can have just an action movie, like a kick-ass spy thriller, and the main character just happens to be gay and doesn't hide, you know, like the filmmakers don't hide any of his life. Like, he's clearly gay, he's got a husband or a boyfriend, and he's just a badass, you know, butt-kicking spy who goes around and does his business, and that's it. It's not about his sexuality. We're a ways off from that. I do think it is important to have movies like Love, Simon out there, because we do need, you know, we're not there yet. We need normalization first, and Love, Simon is a mainstream movie that helps to normalize just gay people in films. That's it, just gay people in films. I went into the movie and I was just thinking, okay, well, this is just gonna be another mellow, and that's another thing. A lot of gay movies are melodramatic. This is just gonna be another melodramatic, quote unquote, gay movie. And I'll leave the theater unaffected. I was very, very pleasantly surprised by the movie. I was surprised with how not melodramatic the movie was. It was very realistic. I mean, in Hollywood sense, there's still the touch of Hollywood on there, you know. They live in a pretty nice neighborhood, nice house. But for the most part, it was real. These were a bunch of high school kids. I believed that they were a bunch of high school kids who just drove around because, you know, their friend has a car and hang out at a Waffle House. And we didn't hang out at a Waffle House, we hung out at IHOP. But it was real and it was relatable, and I remember those days. And so I'm 23 now, I'm about to be 24. It's been a little bit since I've been in high school, so this generation of high schoolers is, you know, a lot different than how I was in high school. Not a lot different, a little bit. Like I said, the story as a whole was not melodramatic, and I really, really appreciated that. Yes, the majority of the movie was about Simon's sexuality. I mean, it's Love, Simon. It's about his sexuality. It's about him coming out and coming to terms with himself. But I didn't think it was done in a way that it's been done in every other movie that's told the same sort of story. I thought this was really original. So we're stationed at a base in Oklahoma, you know. I was surprised that the movie came to this theater anyway, but I also wasn't surprised because it is a pretty mainstream movie. But they put the movie in a smaller theater, and the theater was packed. There was people in just about every seat, and I noticed while I was watching it, and this really got me, that everybody was really into it. And it felt like, you know, I came with 3 other people, but it felt like I came with all of these people, that I was here with all of these people, because everybody was interacting with the screen. And usually I don't like people to talk during movies. I don't like, you know, hearing everybody else. I want to be in the movie-going experience. But with this one, it was like everybody was there together, and we were all like invested in the story, and I could tell that every single person was feeling the exact same feelings at the exact same beats that they were supposed to be feeling at. I think the filmmakers did an excellent job with, you know, portraying those feelings and getting the audience to feel the emotions they wanted us to feel. So I commend them for that. Alright, so now I'm going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to give you about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're gone. Okay, so I related a lot to this movie. Like I said, it's been a little bit since I've been in high school, and Simon's story is different enough that, you know, it's not my exact story, it's not your exact story. And I didn't come out in high school, I came out in college, but I related so much to this movie and so much to this character in just so many ways. Having a secret romance, you know, the movie in essence, the plot is about Simon having this online relationship with somebody else at his high school who's gay and not out, and it's a mystery who this person is. He just calls himself Blue, and Simon's corresponding with him, and he's falling in love with him throughout the entire movie, and it's really sweet. And I remember, like, I didn't have that sort of anonymous pen pal, but I did, like, I had a little secret romance with the guy who the only guy I knew at my high school. So the secrecy of it is really exciting and really scary at the same time, because you don't want anybody to find out. And another part before that, when he's at a party and he's hanging out with this guy who he assumes to be Blue. So quick side note, I really loved how the filmmakers, every time Simon would get in his mind an idea of who Blue was, he would picture that person as writing all the emails. And so this guy at this party, he assumed to be Blue, and in his mind had been writing all these emails, and so they had this connection. Simon believed they had this connection, and they were playing beer pong, and Simon was spending the whole night with him, trying to be close to him the whole night. And finally worked up the courage and goes upstairs and walks in on this guy with another girl, and it's like, okay, well, this is not Blue. I mean, and it's cute because I remember stuff like that. I remember being into one of my straight buddies and just wanting to spend a bunch of time with him just because, and like, I knew he was straight and I knew nothing was ever gonna happen, but it was just like spending time with him, like I felt like we had this little thing going on, little flirtation, which was just on my end. I was completely idiot, but it was great seeing that portrayed, because like, I know a lot of gay guys have the same experiences, but this really confirms it, that a lot of gay guys go through similar things, and we all, that's where we're tied to each other, is because we do go through similar things. Not everybody's gonna experience stuff like that, but a lot of us do. Another thing I really related to, this is what got my start on YouTube, is my coming out story. I think the title is Coming Out, I Was Outed. And my whole coming out story was one of my buddies screenshotted some texts that he found on my phone from between me and my boyfriend. And similar thing happens to Simon. Somebody in his school screenshots all the emails that he has with Blue and posts them on some high school website, and he's outed that way. And so I really related to that as well. And just watching it, like, it's definitely, like, I can point out a lot more dissimilarities than similarities between me and this character, but watching it just felt like, yes, dude, yes, I relate to this so much. And I know that people around me also related to it. Me and Alistair kept, like, whispering to each other during the movie. We're like, yeah, you've been through that? Yeah, I've done that too. I've done that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And Simon went to school, and like, there were some guys who were just making fun of him. And I also want to say that they were making fun of him and this other gay guy who was in the school, and who was clearly gay, outwardly gay. He was out. And I really appreciated that they put that character in there, and they didn't make him a stereotypical gay. They made him very, very real. He was flamboyant. He had longer hair. He, dressed a little bit more flamboyant than average high school guys, but I really enjoyed that they didn't make him a stereotypical flamboyant character, flamboyant gay guy. He was a real person that you would know, that I would know. And we all have that person at the school who, is outwardly gay, and, they don't, really, their personality, they can't hide who they are, because it's just so obvious that they just have to be who they are. In a way, they're forced to be who they are. And, that's a blessing and a curse. And I know I didn't in high school. I didn't ever think about this person and how their life was, how they're constantly getting made fun of, and like, they have to, on the outside, they're letting it run off their back, but they go home and they face struggles, and they're at school and they face struggles, and it's just hard for them. So I really loved that they put that character in there. That character is one of my favorite characters. I wish I had his name. I should have wrote his name down, because I don't remember it. I did not appreciate Simon's friends when Simon was outed. His friends should have had his back. And it sucks because they didn't have his back while he was getting made fun of and, going through school. After he'd been outed, like, his friends weren't there. And I really, because I liked his friends a lot in the movie, and I thought they were really relatable teenagers. And it was just like, they're assholes. But you know what? At the same time, that happens a lot too. Sometimes your friends turn their back on you. by the end of the movie, his friends come around, and Simon really wants to know who Blue is, and Blue has cut contact with him because Simon is out now, and Blue's not ready to be out. So Blue deletes his email, and Simon's really devastated. Oh, that scene! Let me say that scene right there, when Simon is freaking out because Blue says he doesn't want to have any more contact with Simon, and Simon's typing an email. It's like, wait, just please, I like, please don't be like this. Please don't just delete me. And he sends the email, and then gets a notification that the sender's or the receiver's email address is no longer in service, and Simon just kind of has a little breakdown. It's not some melodramatic throwing things around the room breakdown, but he sits at his computer and you see the tears well up, you see the emotion, and it's heartbreaking. And I know Alistair started crying, and it was sad. But by the end of the movie, Simon, has gone through all of this. He's outed. He has got his friends back, and he decides that after the school play that he's in, he wants to meet Blue. And so he posts a message on his school website that says, Blue, if you want to meet me, I'll be at the Ferris wheel at this time after the play. And Simon sits on the Ferris wheel. This is the part that's very Hollywood. Like this is the very Hollywood part of the movie. But he sits on the Ferris wheel and goes round and round, and there's this huge crowd of like students who are Snapchatting it and stuff like that, and they're all waiting on whoever Blue is to show up and sit with Simon on the Ferris wheel. And very Hollywood, very Notebook. It was nice though. It was nice. I enjoyed it. And then Blue shows up, and it turns out to be, so there's like 3 or 4 guys who Simon thought Blue could be, and it turns out to be the first guy that he was hanging out with a bunch at the party, and then saw with another girl. And they sit on the Ferris wheel together, and it's so awkward, y'all. It's so awkward, and I could feel everybody in the audience was like cringing because they're sitting next to each other. They don't really know what to say. They're like, "Yeah, you're Blue. Oh, okay." And he's like, "Are you happy that I'm Blue?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy." But like they're sitting there, and it's just really awkward. And then finally, they work up the courage to give each other a kiss, and it's just your little heart flutters. And it's nice. It's a nice movie. It's a really cute movie, and I think I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna say, biting all my words from the beginning and from what I thought it was gonna be, I'm gonna say this movie is gonna be a classic. Like in 20 years, Love, Simon is gonna be one of the classic movies that people still watch, and that teenagers are gonna watch and be like, "Oh, this vintage movie, Love, Simon." At that time, hopefully there'll be, action movies with a gay character. I do want to say that this film I understand why it's important now. I understood before, but I understand so much more now why Love, Simon is very important to not only the gay community, but to film in general, and to life in general, to people in general. A lot of gay people go through this similar sort of thing where they wonder to themselves, well, why does gay people have to come out? Why does coming out even have to be a thing? Why can't it just be accepted already, like being straight is accepted? When straight people grow up, they're not thinking, "Oh, I hope I'm going to be accepted by my parents for dating a girl," and it just doesn't happen like that. So the film really does a good job of showing those inner struggles. Also, anybody can see this movie. It's not just a gay movie, and that's what I really like, and that's what I really want to underline. It's for everyone. A lot of gay people are obviously going to like this movie because they can relate to it more, but I think a lot of people can relate to some of the themes in this movie, and really it's hard. I remember, and it's still trying to get my parents to understand what I was going through. I feel, and my mom always wonders why I talk about so much gay stuff on my channel, and trying to get her to understand what it felt like to be a teenager and to be gay and have this secret. It was very difficult. I really want her to see this movie because I feel like if you have somebody in your life who's like that and doesn't really understandably doesn't understand, then take them to see Love, Simon, because I feel like straight people will get it. They can see it. They're going to feel these emotions that everybody's feeling at the same beats, and they're just going to get it. Hopefully they're going to leave this movie and they're going to understand where you're coming from, what it was like for you. And they're, it's not melodramatic, so they're not going to be like, "Oh, quit whining, really." So for my Saturday upload today on YouTube, I was going to upload a video where I found a yellow notebook from high school that had a bunch of writings in it about not even just about being gay, but being gay and struggles with my family and stuff like that. And so I read a few of those entries, and I was going to upload that video today. And then I went and saw Love, Simon last night, and I was like, wow, I need to make something about Love, Simon. I'm still gonna upload that video though, the writings from high school, because I feel like it's very relevant in association with this video. So y'all are gonna get 2 videos today. Expect the other one later on tonight. And then I wanna leave you guys with this. Young or old, you know, we're all going through similar things. Young people, you know, with every new generation, it gets better and better to, you know, just be a normal person in society. Like, people 20 years older than me had it so much worse, and they, you know, Love, Simon, they probably couldn't have even imagined a movie like Love, Simon coming out at all and being made at all. And, you know, their high school experiences were far worse than mine, far worse than Simon's, far worse than yours. And I want us all to really understand that and respect that, and respect all the work that our older generations, our elders, did to get us to this point, and really just appreciate where we are right now. And we're at a point where not everywhere, but a lot of places are very accepting nowadays. And if you're in one of those places, I know being gay seems like, because it's not normal, it's harder, but chances are you're going to be accepted. You know, you're young. Don't spend your years just being scared to be who you are, and being scared to fall in love with who you want to fall in love with, or tell people about, you know, what the cute boy down the street looks like. And, you know, it just, take a chance if you can. If you're in an area where you just can't do that, I understand it. I relate to that. But, you know, we all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to be happy. And I want to leave you guys with that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and love, Zach. So fucking cool.